I want to talk to you now about accredited training. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what is it, why would anybody want to do it, and how do you actually do it. I'm going to be very brief on the how, by the way. So first of all, what is accredited training? Well, it's a little bit complicated, but I'm going to draw it like this. It's taken me years to find this out, by the way. It's quite a confusing subject if you try to investigate it for yourself. So the first thing to realise, and this is in the UK, but America has similar systems. So please bear with me if you're not from the UK, but it's going to be similar. So the first thing is the level of the training. So in England, we have levels 3, level 5 and level 7. Everything has a level. Now, actually, a few things don't, like, for example, Prince doesn't have a level because Prince isn't properly accredited. But proper accredited training of any kind has a level given to it by the QCI, which is part of the government. So the levels actually go all the way up to level 8, which is masters, and there are levels in between. So level 6 is degree level and level 4 is A levels. But for management qualifications, we have levels 3, 5 and 7. So level 3 is supervisory. That's kind of your first ever management job. Level 5 is just straight ahead management. And then level 7 is managing managers. So level 7 is strategic. So I would recommend for most people to do a level 5 qualification. That's where all the best management theories are. When you get to level 7, it gets quite strategic and long term and a little bit too theoretical, I think. But the really good meat of management is at level 5. So your first question is, what level do you want to take? And by the way, if you're a group of supervisors, I think you could still do a level 5 qualification. Level 3 is fine, but you are well capable of going straight to level 5. So you've got to decide what level you want to do. The next thing you have to decide is the length of the qualification. So there are 3 lengths, and these are called award, certificate, and diploma. So the only difference between a certificate and a diploma is the length of the qualification, not the level. I wouldn't bother with awards. An award is just where you do 1 unit. So it's really a sort of starting qualification, or if you quit halfway through, you can at least get an award. But nobody's really heard of an award and it doesn't sound very good. So personally, I don't recommend to people to do awards. I would recommend either a certificate or a diploma. And it depends which units you pick, but as a rough guide, 1 unit gets you an award. And by a unit, I mean that's 1 bit of teaching followed by an assignment. So you have to go away and apply what you've learnt and actually do it and then write it up and then get your assignment marked and passed. So it has to be passed by an accredited marker, by the way. We usually send ours off to CMI, the Chartered Management Institute, and they mark the assignments for us for a fee. So 1 unit gets you an award, and it used to be 1, 4 and about 9. I say about because some units are bigger than others. It depends which units you pick. So units would be things like leadership, project planning, personal development, customer service, marketing or whatever. So there's lots of these units you can pick. But they did recently change it, and they brought this down to 6 and they brought this down to 2. But it does vary quite a lot depending on the units. But at the moment, a certificate is only 2 units if you pick the right ones. And that seems like a really easy way to get a level 5 certificate. The diploma is 6 at least, so that's a fairly chunky amount of work. So I would recommend starting with a certificate. I would do a level 5 certificate first. And then if that goes really well and you enjoy it and you want to move on and develop yourself more, you can always move on up to a diploma and do another 4 units and make it into a diploma. If you want to go to level 7, by the way, you can't do this. You have to come in and you have to do level 7 completely separately. You have to start again and do different units. And that's why I wouldn't recommend doing level 3, because halfway through, I bet you'll regret it and you'll wish you could do level 5, and then you've got to start again. So go straight in at level 5, do 2 units, and then if that goes well, do another 4 and make it go from a level 5 certificate to a level 5 diploma. Okay, so if somebody says I've got a diploma in management, ask them what level it's at. And If it's level 5, that's great. If it's level 7, it's really impressive. And even level 3, it's still pretty impressive because they've done 6 assignments, and that's quite a bit of work. They're slightly easier assignments, but they're not massively easier. So we've got levels and we've got lengths. And these have awarding bodies. The one I like is CMI, the Chartered Management Institute. When I say like, it's the one that I dislike least, because they're not that easy to deal with, these people. But I would recommend the CMI. But there is also ILM, the Institute of Leadership and Management. That's another awarding body. And there's also BTEC. And they also award these management qualifications. They've all got their pros and cons. Contact me if you want to know more about this. But I would recommend getting a CMI Level 5 certificate if you're going to get a management qualification. And so then when you go to a job interview and they say, you know, are you a qualified manager? You can say, yes, I've been doing management for 10 years now, but also I've got a qualification. And I personally think it's outrageous that managers don't have to have a qualification. You couldn't just be a doctor without any qualifications and just say, well, I've just been making it up for 20 years. But managers can do that. They can say that, which strikes me as crazy, but there we are. So this is a proper management qualification. I mentioned earlier on that degrees are level 6 and level 8 is masters. So MBAs are kind of here. So they're at master's level and they're longer than a diploma. And you can actually move up. There's the one exception. You can move up from level 7 to level 8. And if you've got a level 7 diploma, you can do what's called a top-up year, and you can add one more year and you can make it into an MBA. Certain universities, not very many, but some, will do a top-up year and allow you to get an MBA in 1 year. So the cheapest and quickest way to get an MBA actually is to do a level 7 diploma and then upgrade it to an MBA. Anyway, that's another subject. So that's what accredited training is. I'll just jump to the how actually before we look at why. How would you get this? And the answer is there are accredited centres who can do this for you. So I can put you in touch with somebody who will do this for you. So he will help you choose which units you want to do, and then he will give you the assignments to write, and then you write the assignments, you send them to him, he sends them off to CMI and gets them marked. He also deals with all the enrolment, so you get added onto CMI's official list so that they can then give you your certificate or your diploma at the end of the programme. Of course, we have to pay CMI, and it's about £200 per person to enrol. Depends whether you're enrolling on a certificate or a diploma. And then the marking of the assignments is about £50 per assignment to be marked. So you can see a diploma, it's going to be 6 times 50, which is £300. And then there is a certain amount of admin and hassle that we have to pay my colleague for, because you've got to manage all the learners, and sometimes their assignments get rejected, and there's a whole sort of looking after it process, which my colleague will do. So basically the how is we give it to somebody who's accredited already. I would not recommend that you try to get accredited. Organisations can get accredited, and if you're a really big organisation, you might want to become an accredited centre, because then you can do all the admin. But it's a lot of work, you have to jump through a lot of hoops to get accredited. It's much better to use somebody else who's already accredited to do the assignment side of things for you. But finally, I just want to say, why would we want to do this? And I would say there are all sorts of benefits, actually. For you as a trainer, there are definitely benefits in selling an accredited programme to one of your customers. The main thing is that they will book more days of training. So you won't make money out of the accredited side. I mean, you could sell them a whole package and add a percentage. I never do, personally. So I just say to them, I'm going to charge you for the training required. So they're going to have to write these assignments. So they're going to need to know a certain amount of information from me, some training days from me. And then I say to them, the accredited stuff will be done by my colleague, John. And I won't make any money on that. I'll just pass you to John and he'll charge you for that side of things. But you do sell more days. And not only that, but you sell them further ahead. So if they book, let's say, a diploma programme with 6 units, so they might do a unit every couple of months, so that would be a year. But quite often, we like to take 2 years to do a diploma, because to write 6 assignments in a year is a lot of work for the participants. And remember, they've got a day job. They're not students. These are managers taking this programme. So we might spread it over 2 years. So that means that my training days are booked up to 2 years ahead, which is really nice. I've got stuff in my diary already for next year. You also get more repeats. Because what happens is that a group of perhaps 10 people go through a certificate or a diploma program and they love it and they get their qualification at the end. And then everyone else in the company says, well, I want to do that. I want to get one of those certificates. Can I do it? And so quite often the company goes, all right, we'll do another one next year. So it's a good source of regular work for the trainer. But what about for the host company? What benefit would they have of this? Well, obviously, the individuals get a certificate or a diploma, and that's a great thing to have on their CV. Now, we're hoping they're never going to leave the company, but if they ever do have to leave, they've got proof that they're a proper manager. Now, what does the company gain, given that these people are getting something that could help them to leave? Well, the company actually gains quite a lot, because the company gets people who they know are qualified. So when they interview people internally, they now know who the serious managers are. So it's a good test of their people to see who wants to do this and who can actually pass it. But they also get proof of learning. I'll put proof of L. Because if somebody comes on a project management course, are they going to do what they've been told? Did they even understand it? Did they just sleep through the course? We don't know. But with this, they have to go away and run a really textbook project. And then they have to write up an assignment showing that they did that. So you get real proof that they have run a textbook project. And they discover, of course, that it worked really well and the process works because they've done it once. So they're probably going to carry on doing it once they've discovered that it's easy and it works. So you get real proof that your people have listened, and they've had to listen. They've had to really pay close attention on the training day, and that they've then gone away and applied it. So you get proof of learning, which I think is quite a big thing. It also looks good to your customers if you're the host company, because you can say to your customers, we have an internal leadership program. All of our project managers are accredited by CMI. So you can actually point to professionalism within your company. You also get retention of your people, because at the very least they're going to stay for 2 years while they do the diploma. But also you're showing that you're prepared to invest in your people and you care about their development. And that's great for staff morale. So there are all sorts of reasons why this is a great way to do it. And this is really, I think, the ultimate type of training. And I find when I teach on these programs that people are really keen to learn about it because they know there's an assignment coming up. So it gives it a real extra edge. And I would recommend it if you can afford the extra cost of this, because it is going to cost, a few £100s per person to get them a certificate. And, that's going to be a few £1,000s in total if you've got a group of 10 people going through. But that's still nothing compared to the wage bill of employing those people. So if you really want to do the ultimate, then accredited training is for you. So that's a really quick run through accredited training. You could see it's complicated, but it is worth getting your head around it. It's good for you as a trainer, it's good for the company, and it's good for the individuals who come on this program. So as always, if you want to know more about all this kind of stuff, do contact me. If you're thinking about becoming a trainer, this sort of thing's really useful to know about, and it's all part of my Successful Trainers program. So click on the link below if you want to inquire about getting involved in my training program. I can help you to learn all of this, and I can help you to become a successful self-employed management trainer.